Yeah, this weekend's not good for me. I have to work on my script.
We are back. We are back after I have no clue since the last time I streamed. The last time I streamed, I was deeply intoxicated. Gotta not do those drunk streams that often. No, can't be doing those. I'm not capable of that stuff anymore. But a lot has happened the last couple of days. Right? A lot has happened. This probably won't be a long stream. Probably gonna do like an hour and a half. Probably like around like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'll end the stream. Not 8 o'clock particularly. Around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'll end the stream. I just wanted to do a quick Monday stream. See how everybody's doing. Depending on things, we may or may not go further. Right? Maybe play a little game to kind of just break the monotony of stuff. But I just wanted to talk. You know, I just wanted to talk about just random shit that has been going on, right? Among locales, among I guess our current world event, right? You know, stuff with the certain nations in the Middle East, you know, things going on in LA. But I'm just you're like, that's interesting. I just wanna shit post and make fun of dumb idiots on the internet as an excuse of escaping it, you know, a little bit of escapism. It's not always wrong. Maybe it is wrong. I don't know. I'm a little really trying to wake myself up after a very long week again doing normie stuff, right? Going out and being a normie. Cause you know, I need to have a life. Right? Maybe we'll read some Twitter shit, right? There's some stuff on Twitter that caught my interest, particularly with Becky. You know, looking at all the locale shit, right? That caught my interest. You know, especially her, right? Especially you know her herself. You know, we have a lot. We have a lot to talk about, right? The future is bright, ladies and gentlemen. The future is very bright among the many things. Right? Let's play some IO games. Let's play some open front. You know, just to keep the audience engaged. Where should we play? I think we should play in Europe. Let's play some Europa stuff, right? Let's play some European. You know what? I don't even care. Let's do some instant goal, infinite troop. Let's go. Let's have a great time while I'm talking about and seeding over. Play somewhere in Britannia. Right. Right. No. But yeah, a lot has been going on. Becky, quote unquote, quit. Right. Supposedly she quit the LCU. We're not sure how true that is. We're not sure is it some type of ploy. Is it a psyop to make us go for it? Right. But I think I mean to be fair, I think there's been a number of times where clearly there is some truth to it, right? I think there is some truth to her quitting. I think on the grounds of I think on the grounds of her wanting to do her own shit. It's always been there. It's always been very clear cut that she's always wanted to, you know, do her own stuff. It's always been a thing since freaking forever, and I'm surprised people don't realize that. I mean, for God's sakes, she wanted her own show, right? She wanted her own show. She wanted the Becky Booth show. Whether or not it was her excuse of wanting money, maybe she was doing. What the freak? Am I being invaded? No, get out of here. Right? Whether it's an excuse for her to want to make her own money, which is not a problem, but as always, just be honest. Then you got Roxy, who left the LCU on top of that, you know, because her excuse was, I don't want to go through the process of finding another host. Truthfully, though, maybe she should have never been part of the LCU, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. Whether or not she's entertaining in hindsight is another important question. I don't think she was really entertaining in the sense that you and I would probably agree on, right? Mm, 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 mm. Looks like the Republic of Ireland finally got their independence, right? Right. But what I'm saying, I think has some merit to it, right? I don't think she is entertaining. I know I'm not the most entertaining guy, right? But I'm very honest with myself about it. I'm not gonna lie to people, you know. And I think that's an important thing to acknowledge. You know, should we invade? I said we're gonna need a port here to defend ourselves. I mean, we have all the money and troops, but I like to pretend that I'm to be weak. You know, we really gotta accept the British LARPing. But that's what I mean. Is it gonna work out for them? I'm not sure. You need to have a work ethic that is beneficial. Maybe she'll do it for a couple days and then maybe she'll just quit. Right? I mean, it's not like, let's say like people like Grace or people like that of similar nature who they do it because of their livelihood. They have no other option. I remember around like the end of last year, the beginning of this year, Grace made a big post about like how she doesn't want to work a normie job. She doesn't want to be a wage slave, which respectable. I understand that the need of you want to do your own thing. You don't want a boss. You want to be your own boss. That's respectable. That's something I could respect, right? But then when you look at these individuals, right? You know, are they any better? Do I think that Becky, it's quote unquote going to be more successful by herself? I don't know. The future is unknowable. Maybe not. Maybe she won't be successful. Maybe this is one big ploy to make her ego, make herself feel good about her terrible life decisions. Right? We should put any missile silos here for detergent. But I think that's what people want. Her fans want her to leave. But, let's be real. Milkers and Queens fans are really particularly like Roxy and Becky fans have sub IQ level, right? You know, they're not the smartest, brightest people. You're believing somebody who lie all the time. Then again, obviously, Keemstar and Boogie are not better, but at least they're willing to admit they're not better. I mean, how many times have Boogie came out and straight up said, like, yeah, I'm a liar. I'm a manipulator. He's being honest. Right? It's better, you know. At least he's more truthful to who he is as a person. People may not like it, but it's better than most others. Should we invade? The Netherlands seem like easy picking. We're gonna send a warship into that area. You know what? We're gonna pull a Viking. If you're not aware, if I remember, around the 10th century or the 9th century, I think it was actually the 10th or 11th century. There was a Viking invasion of France. Where they went with, where they pillaged the capital, Paris, when they went through a set of rivers, right? And that's how they were able to pillage France. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna use the river system as a way to enter the once proud Gallic people land. Maybe go down here, right? Right. We're gonna divide Europe from east. You know, we're gonna divide Europe between the Germanic tribes of the east and the Hispanics in the you know, right here. That's our goal. But that's what I really mean. You know, at the end of the day, end of the day, what are these people gold? What are they trying to do? I mean, if in the end, if it's just money, then there's nothing wrong with that. Is it for your own independence? There's nothing wrong with that either. I just think that she should always be truthful and honest. But then again, they're low counts for a reason, and you know they should be milked for that. You know that's how I really see these people. They're just low counts. You know, do I think you know? Do I understand why Roxy wants to leave because he doesn't want to go through the process of finding a new host? That's perfectly fine. After Savage left and everything, like yeah, I think who wouldn't, right? I guess who wouldn't want to not go through that, right? But I think she should have just made that very clear and been honest about it. Like I don't want to go through the process rather than make the lie that people were laughing at her dead husband. Let's be fair, it was like who was it? Believe it or not, like it was Xylee and them that that came to defend Roxy. We kick the Spaniards mostly off of the Gallic's land. Now we're gonna just put some missile silos here. I mean, it really wouldn't take me long to just steamroll most of this. It really would not take me long to just start steamrolling most of Europe. But in the end, we'll have to wait and see what's gonna happen, right? Is it gonna work out? We don't really know. We really don't know. The future is unknowable for the most part. Maybe this would be a complete flounder like the first time. I mean, Keem is right that like their viewership may be high for now, but are people gonna come back? It's not even that. It's just also like be willing to stream every single day. I mean, truthfully, I would be, up there more if I was to stream every day. If I was to just like, actively stream, maybe make more video covering other stuff, which is what I should be doing. And I am kind of getting out there about it, right? Right. I mean, I'm planning to cover the Dorps more often because they're getting quite interesting in my opinion. But in the end, we have to wait and see. You know. Now the question comes in: who's telling the truth about this whole situation? I mean, on one hand, it's easier to take the person who works with Keemstar, what they're saying, to face value because it's easier. On the other hand, you have somebody who is a notorious liar, who is a manipulator, and no better than Keemstar. I would even say worse than even like people like Boogie. Oop, one of my ships got hit. You gotta flood this area with warships so they don't invade you anytime soon. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna probably build a port right here and put some warships here so that I don't get invaded from this area, from this lake area. But that's what I'm saying, right? Who are you willing to believe? A woman who was known to lie about an SA situation, or Keemstar, who yeah may not be better, but at least like he isn't. Holy crap, the Italian Republic is massive. That's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna let them grow. I'm gonna let them have this area to themselves. Actually, you know what? I'll give them a hand. Let me. Ooh, that's a little too close. Let me give them a hand. Let me hydrogen bomb. Hydrogen bomb. I'm gonna give them an extra hand. Let's awaken these states just for the Italians. I want to see who will dominate this area. Just realized that was popping up. Obliterated. Obliterated. Hope you guys enjoying this stream a lot more. It's a lot more cozy. It's a lot more relaxed than I'm usually doing. But I think that's what I'm saying. You know, was I being almost new? Oh my god. Oh my god, who was it? You know what? I'll give the Spaniards some help. Here we go. Here you go. That's all you get from me because now I'm just gonna invade it. You know, how dare you? How dare you attack me? Can I not? I can't? What do you mean I can't invade from? Oh, I already had a bunch of ships already. What the heck? Why couldn't I just go through the lakes? Why are they so dumb? I hate the AI in most tactical game. Who's the freak is trying to nuke me now? Just gonna keep putting SAM launcher so they don't get a hit on me. Just gonna keep putting a bunch of them on the coastline. We're just gonna attack Spain now. Just claim it for our own. There we go. There we go. Some Spaniard. Yeah, the Italian Republic. They're doing pretty well. They're doing pretty well for themselves. I'm not gonna lie. Good on them. Yeah. Maybe if those Belgians just didn't try to invade me, yeah, maybe I wouldn't dare nuke them. We are gonna need more warships though. Can we send more warships here? Yes, we can. We can just keep bogging them down. But also, I think you also gotta look at this that I think they're taking an opportunity and moment to claim what they want. You know, like in the end of the day, if it is just for money, then just be honest about it. I don't think anybody would really get mad if you're just trying to do this for money, right? You know, money makes the world go around. Except when you have infinite money, then what happens then? You just have to use military force. Oh no, the Moroccans are gone. Oh well, not my problem. Nobody owns this? That's weird. You would think somebody would actually claim that for themselves. We are gonna watch some video, some clip, some stuff Ruby, a little bit of stuff that Ruby was going into. Right. I like the rooster. I like her a lot of the times. She knows how to make my Sundays a little better, I guess. I like how fast we just went right through that. Yeah, we're just gonna take all of this now. We're just gonna take it all. It's ours now. Oh, look, the Italian Republic. It's just matching right through here. Let's give them a hand. Give them a hand. We'll save them. Right? They can claim their new territory. Now we have Belgium. We saved the Italians. Why didn't we not land in there? We need to send warships just to like. Did we not land? Oh, I don't. Oh, look at Malta. We're gonna take some of these little small islands, claim them from ourselves. No, get the freak back. Take those for ourselves. Nope. Get back there. Let's put some SAM sites so we don't. This area doesn't get obliterated to Kingdom Come. Build some warships. Throw some warships around here. You know. Now the real question: do I think that the LCU is on a downward spiral? Personally, not really. I don't really think the state of Israel. What the freak? Oh no! Oh no! With the current events going on, that's ooh, I'm not gonna test that one. You know, I don't think the LCU is on a downward decline. I think it's just it is what it is, right? If they were in a downward decline, I think nobody would talk about them, and I think that's the difference. People are talking about them. People are making videos about them. People are milking their content, and because of that, they're still going. I wouldn't be surprised if they're here for another couple of years. All right, maybe I'm coping because I would like to, milk them for what they're worth. Holy moly, Romania is strong. That's a strong Romania. Would be a shame if I drop a IMR, drop something like that. In the meantime, we're gonna capture some islands. I'm gonna have to build a port. We're gonna create some warships so we don't get mugged. We're gonna bring the Romanians down. We're gonna bring them down just a little bit. What? We're gonna bring the Romanians down. Yep, there we go. Oopsie. We took some of the Italians out with them, but we gave them an opportunity now to expand. In the meantime, we're gonna take these small little islands, these chains of islands. We're gonna keep expanding. What the? I thought I took you down. They're still around? I thought, what the heck? I thought I took them all out. Oh, but they had like a little bit left, like a small little like. Okay, that was weird. Oh, I didn't realize they declared war on the Italians. Oops, my bad. My bad. I wasn't. I guess now we just have to take over everything. I guess we have to steamroll everybody now. I guess that's a new goal. We're gonna have to steamroll everybody. Sorry, everybody. You're. Oops. Oopsie. What are they nuking? Where are they nuking? Oh, they're nuking somewhere where I don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, that's a good idea. Not hit us where it really. I mean, it's an easy spot, but it's not gonna like affect our. It's not gonna affect the numbers as much as they think it is. Right? I wasn't planning to just sweep right through Europe right now. But I guess what game is this? It's Open Front IO. It's like the new IO game that's been out for a while. It's been recommended to me on YouTube, so I've been playing it quite a bit. I'm just kind of playing it on the easy mode because I don't really care to take it that serious. But I like games like these. These games are stuff I like. Right? They help fill in the chat, right? It helps fill in these moments, right? We're just gonna have to take over half of these areas. I wasn't even really trying to invade most of Europe. Come on. I wasn't really trying to evade Europe, but it just ended up happening, like, because I'm an idiot. Oh, Wings of Redemption's live. I don't care, but hey, cool. And I guess some people want to play the moral game about this whole stuff. Honestly, you really can't be moral about everything in life. I feel like my time on certain spectrum of the internet had taught me that you have to play Age of Mythology, low Giga Chat. I've always wanted to play Age of Mythology. I can get it for like free on Game Pass. I just haven't gotten the time. Right? Like I like older classical RTS. I think the last RTS I was playing was the Command and Conquer, and Command and Conquer was so fun. I fell in love with I fell in love with Wings of Redemption. He's pretty cool. I watched him sometimes. I haven't gotten around to watch good old Wingo. Uh, just because like I just really haven't been watching him. Right. I've been too busy watching stuff like the Dwarves, LCU, and all that fun jazz. We should push back the. I guess we are the real. We are the real Roman Empire. We are Romana. Oh, the USSR. Oh, good to know they're still around. But you know, I don't know what could be said. I think everybody wants to play the moral game with people in their audience, but whether or not they themselves are moral is a different question. I can't take that shit normal no more. Local life stuff or the Dwarves? Either or, I don't blame you. Get away. I mean, like, it's not always bad. It's just the same. It's not even a question of is it the same stuff over. Are they trying to? Enough. Oh my god, I need to build a port. You know, my thing is with some of these people is I feel like they try to make it into a good versus bad. Like, something I learned when it's coming to politics, at least modern day politics, everybody want to make it into like the good guy versus the bad guy, like something like off of like Star Wars or Harry Potter or something stupid like that. And in reality, that's not how things work, right? I remember watching What If History, and he made an excellent point. He made an excellent point about leadership and just general people, and how most people, most like leaders, don't die from like a rebellion. They don't die from like maybe bar from each, maybe from like maybe China. But even then, it's usually they're taken down by another would-be warlord or would-be person who wants the mandate of heaven. If I'm talking about the mandate heaven, one of these days I gotta really play Crusader Kings. I just haven't gotten a chance to play the Crusader. Like I have Crusader King 2, and my brother really loved Crusader King 2 a lot. I just never got around to just playing it. It's still around. Oh my god, stop invading me. Cool. We're just gonna have to put a warship here because you just can't stop enough. Who we have here invading? Who can we polar bears? Right? Polar bear. We got polar bears. Oh my god, I said we're invading you. Enough. Enough of this bullshit. Enough of this bullshit, alright? Just enough. There we go. There you go. Happy now? Happy now? Oh my. They keep invading me. Oh no. Let's keep invading kid. What's the worst that can happen? I don't know. Have your country swallow up by me? It's like, come on, dude. You had the opportunity. And they launch a nuke anyway? What the? Can we build a SAM site in time? Nope, nope, nope. Nope, they're just gonna say screw it. They're just gonna say screw it. We're just gonna do it. Smart move, dumbass. What? doesn't matter if it's just a regular nuke. It's not gonna do anything compared to a hydrogen bomb. Really? Really? That far? That far? Knowing that we have a bunch of SAM-site. Oh my god, the AI is so stupid. Oh my. Oh my god. Shit. We're just gonna finish off Romania. Let's just finish Romania off. Let's just conquer the rest of the Middle East at this point and just take it for ourselves. There we go. Republic of Iraq. Go take Georgia out. I mean, they did it anyway. They'll just end up launching another nuke that probably not gonna mean much. They're probably gonna launch it at a spot that is like not gonna really do anything. Cool. You hit our front. You hit our back line. What did that make you feel? Stupid. Are you stupid? Stupid. Okay, where are we at now? Where are we at now? But I think that's how I see it. You know. Back to what I was saying about what if all history. I haven't talked to him. I haven't spoke to about him in like some period. What the fuck? At the Kingdom of Sweden. Oh my god, the Republic of Estonia. Estonia. But I mean, you know, I think if you're trying to make everything into like this moral situation or try to take this moral high ground, I don't think you're ever gonna win like that. You know, morality is important, but like at the same time, I don't know, I guess being practical is even more important. I just feel like if you make everything into a moral thing and like, oh, this person is evil, right, which you know, like that's assuming that there's some. I mean, there is probably like true evil, but that means you have a certain level of perfection of evil. And I'm not saying people can't be like that. I mean, our current society, because of a number of things, is sort of evil, but not in the entirely of it. It's not completely, right? Like making Keemstar an evil person, it's kind of, you know, I'm not anything better, but it's also kind of just stupid. It's like, okay, what are you getting out of it? It's not gonna change anything. He has people who like him more. It comes down to like you're not really changing anybody's opinion or thinking that you can take him down, which is like, okay, go ahead and try. Like if iDubbbz couldn't do it, what makes you think you can do it? Stuff like that. That's like just make content for what it's worth. Just enjoy the shit show, right? For what it's worth and everything, and you know, maybe I'm looking at this as no more than just somebody who wants to profit off these idiots, and that's, I think honestly, I'm just being truthful about that. Gotta take these places before they start sending me nukes. Gotta keep invading these small island chains because you never know, they'll throw in something in there. Oh, why there a tactical nuke coming down on me? Taking the, oh my god. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Come on, come on, come on, come on, keep pushing. Keep pushing. No, the Soviet Union is gone. Honestly, I really do miss I not too long ago I completed yeah, we're gonna keep playing. I completed Red Alert 2, and that's just a great game. I understand why so many people find Red Alert 2 as like the best CNC game. I mean, truthfully, my favorite CNC game is probably Command and Conquer 3. I was playing Command and Conquer 4 Twilight. It's not a bad game. I can see why some people have problems with it. Um, it's just compared to say CNC 3 or CNC 2, or even like Command and Conquer, Red Alert or Red Alert 1. Like Red Alert 1 and 2 are such great games. Though I do think that Red Alert 2 needs a remake desperately. Same thing for Command and Conquer 2, Tiberian Sun. Those games need a remake massively, right? Like when I was playing Tiberian Sun, right? When I was playing Tiberian Sun, all I thought was this is such a great game. It's such an amazing game. The soundtrack is amazing. The gameplay is amazing. The story is amazing. But I can understand why some people would not want to play that game. There are certain things that make it very clunky. The UI in some of those games could have been way better. I would even say the UI in Command and Conquer 3 isn't entirely bad. Also, when I was finally playing Command and Conquer 4, was it Twilight or Nexus? I forgot what the game was called offhand. You have to go out of your way to sign up, and I'm like, why? That doesn't make any sense. Like why do I have to go out of my way to sign up an account that, more or less everybody nowadays are not even going to use an EA account because everything is done by, and I get it, it was at a time period where like that was just kind of commonplace. I mean, it's sort of common, nowadays for what the fuck? I don't know. I can't even do that. It was from a time period where like you have to sign up for almost every game, and nowadays you really don't have to get the fuck out of here. You don't have to do that anymore. But in my head, it was like this is annoying. Okay, we're gonna invade right here. Invade right here. Who the heck nuked me? Who was dare nuke me? Gotta do it for the nukie. Yeah, but I was saying, like, I think if any game deserves like a remake or a remaster, it is Red Alert. I don't know why they didn't. Like, I guess like the first two games, they do deserve sort of the remaster treatment, almost like they did with StarCraft One. Like StarCraft One and StarCraft Brute Wars remaster. I played a little bit of them. They're really great. I mean, like StarCraft is always solid. Now, I will always die by this, but StarCraft is such a solid game. They will always be a solid game in my opinion. There's like StarCraft One and StarCraft Brute War are literally my childhood games. Like you don't understand. Like those games are so fun to play. They're easy. There's nothing, and there's a level of complexity that I think a lot of people will enjoy. You know, and I do like StarCraft 2. I played the trilogy, StarCraft, Rings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm, and Legacy of the Void. And they're great games, but like they're nothing compared to they're nothing compared to like StarCraft 1 and 2. Like there's just something about like those two games that are like top tier, which is Conquer. Who nuked me right as I was conquering? All right, I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Oop. Wait. god, we've been streaming almost an hour. Hope you guys enjoying this Monday stream. A lot. It's a very relaxing stream. That's what I want. I want people to come in here and enjoy. But we're gonna cover some locale shit, right? I don't know what we're gonna cover. We'll come back. We'll come back for some IL stuff. You know, let's look at some tweets from our favorite cow, Becky Boov. What is he saying on the good old X? Right? Let me refresh it just in case something else popped up. Oh my god, fuck off, Keem, with this. Fuck off with this, Keem. First of all your viewers are in content, and it's shitty to make them content unless they want to be. Second, what the fuck, Keem? How delusional are you treating your supporters like this? Oh, and Mike, what the fuck are you doing letting this happen? Let's see what's happening. Oh.
Telling you, I am around. I am around. All right, I might not be on the show, but I'm around. I'm on my phone. I can see every post Nick Stone is fucking made.
Public figure in what world? 2 hours of shit talk of viewers crazy world. I ain't a bit. Talk your shit. I'll take my shit too. Bring it on. On Twitter. Okay. I don't know. I mean, is Keemstar a public figure? Yeah. Is Mike a public figure? Yeah. I'm not here to dick ride them or suck them up, but like they are much more than you. I mean, the guy at the Becky Sim.
Snap, picture. We gonna do 2 hours on Nick Stone, bro.
But then again, like a lot of people should talk their fans. I mean, like I remember something about them talking about with the parasocial relationships, and when I look at that, I'm reminded of the what Amaru said and how dangerous it is, and I feel like we're witnessing a lot of parasocial relationship between Becky and her Sims, to the point I think it's gonna end up crashing on her hard, right? And I think that's why Keemstar the way he is, because he doesn't want that parasocial relationship. He doesn't care for it, and I think when you're at that level, you shouldn't. That's not something you want. Like, look at a lot of the OTK people, right? See, this game, this is trouble. The waves of harassment you're sending my way to bring to what? Why, dude? Just let me go. I'm already gone. All you're doing is pushing my support right to me, and the haters just make you look like shit. I mean, like, well, people hate you regardless. They don't need. I get to. I would say much. I will say this much. I'll not be a fan of yours. That's just me. But what Xylee said, bot said, was fucked up. I said I was Jenny Scott and all this complaining of Erica. They're doing discussing to using his name to manipulate. I guess she did say she used his name or not. It's up in the air. I've heard both sides of this. They said she did or people were using it. I'm like, well, you should know how sensitive he is about that. Yep, I can and I want about it if I choose. I'm reading so bad today. They're certainly talked enough about me, but guess what? I don't need them for content. They need me. Okay. It's like a my new subreddit. I don't know. Like Becky it's a low count in the making. Becky is truly she is a true low count in the making, and I can't wait for it. You know, Archie is probably gonna have a field day with this, right? A beautiful field day with her. You know, I can't wait. I can't. I can't. I mean, no cafe is supposed to start. Radar alert. Yeah, and according to you, I was irrelevant before I joined the LCU. So where do you think this idiot Gunnar came from? I mean, you were irrelevant. I don't know what to tell you, but no one heard about you until you joined the LCU. He has a YouTube account with 60,000 subscribers a long time ago, but then you stopped making videos. It'd be different if you keep making videos and every so often you popped up. You didn't. So, Hoflation is real. Hoflation is real. But let's go watch the... We have a lot of people that we can watch. Let's go watch Roxy's video on this topic we saw earlier, right? right? Roxy's video should be somewhere, right? I did a video on it, but let's go watch it, right? Let me see if okay, let's see. Where is good old Roxy? Where is good old Roxy? I should have it somewhere. We got Ruby SpaceX. Yeah. Trying to make everything about morality. Some stuff with the dwarf. We may want some things related to the dwarves. In a little bit. I think they're fun to watch every so often. Here we are. Found it. We got Roxy and My Truth.
I don't know if it's a money.
Let's watch this video from Roxy. Good old Roxy. I'm a true hater, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Guys, it's Roxy, Cam, whatever you feel like calling me today. I just got my phone back after I crashed out after ending Milkers. I tore the room apart, was freaking out, screaming after Keem called me and basically told me if I wasn't up on live that I was fired. So my husband hears me. He can't come down the stairs. So he's calling my name. Go up there and I'm crying. I'm telling him, you know, I can't do this anymore. And he literally took my phone away and he just like, who are you? I don't know who you are. The kids don't know.
So did you go upstairs? Did he come downstairs when he took her phone away? I mean, also, it's not like you couldn't content. Mind you, she quit. I think she said in this video in her live stream that her reasoning for quitting was that she did not want to go around and have another host, which is perfectly fine. But like, you could have easily just straight up told Keem like, I'm done. I know I could find another host. I know we can do all of this, but like, I'm out.
Who you are, you know, this Roxy person, like you're not 20, you're not 19, you're not 18, you're 50-year-old Cam. He's like, you're bringing back everything that you used to be when you were younger, the person you were before we had kids, and that's not you anymore. And I stopped and I was thinking about it, and it's like what made me really, really upset was the whole thing with Savage. Okay, Savage was fired. Milkers was doing so good. We were doing so.
Yeah, but weren't you supposed to leave with Savage yet you stuck anyway? Sounds like somebody doesn't have her moral straight.
She was ripped away from me.
But then again, it is Roxy. She tried to get away from getting a tattoo and she used the religious thing as an excuse. This is, quite disgusting.
So it took a good month with no check, you know what I'm saying? Very low numbers, and I understand that. We're looking for a host, so I held on. And then I finally find Becky, all right? And I know a lot of people have problems with Becky. I know Keem has problems with Becky. She don't know when to shut her mouth, you know, but we were finally doing good. We go to Niagara Falls. I had the best time in months.
The Niagara Falls video was god-awful. I don't care what anybody said. That whole stream was just god-awful. I've seen other streamers who have done the same thing similar and what's more entertaining on the same level. I don't know if people want to cope with themselves. People want to like, good for you quitting. Okay, right. It's like, come on. It wasn't a good stream.
Went out the door. I was making people laugh. People that aren't able to get up and go explore the world. They lived that through me. And for yesterday, it was a dream come true. I made people happy.
It sounds very Paracelso. It's the same thing Keemstar was warning you about. And I get it, but that's a problem. That's a problem with part of the world we live in, that people use other people to live a fantasy, and that's not how you're supposed to live. You're supposed to live your own life as it is, to your own means or your own limitation, whatever that may be, right? And if you want to overcome it, then overcome them. But to use this emotional thing, right? People were happy because, like, come on. Kind of childish.
I made people laugh. They loved the sights. Only for Keem to shit on it. He shit on everything we did yesterday. He had nothing good to say about it. And it hurt me. It hurt me so bad. But, you know, I dusted it off. We had weeks of content planned. Only for Becky.
It hurt me. Okay.
To call me after I seen a thumbnail saying that Roxy's alone again. I had no idea what was going on. So she called me. She's crying, freaking out. Roxy, I'm so sorry. I can't do this anymore. Keem said if I don't show up today, I'm fired. Even though Mike told me I can take the day off. So she's losing her mind. I go up on live on Milkers, and I'm doing the show. She comes up, and it really hit me that she's done after her and Tina get into it. So I start freaking out. I panic. And I just...
Right at the time Keem decided to take some time off. Yeah, because, hey crew, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while. I've not seen you in a while. I mean, guys, at the end of the day, do people really believe the LCU and these hosts? Do people really want to genuinely believe Roxy, who's a notorious liar? And how many times has she tried to get away of every single situation? She lies, she gets caught in it. Keemstar isn't any better, you know. The makeshift maker you like put on, wait. Oh, I think you were talking to me. I was like, what? I was like, what have I done? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I don't know. I may or may not get... I may or may not cover this Spicoli stuff. It's something I may talk about. Because OBC Don... If you guys are not aware, every so often I go onto the Local Reject channel. And I go up there. The other day, I was talking to OPC Don and Guy Crag. We were talking about... I think there was TK there. We were talking about the Spicoli stuff. And whether or not I'm going to take down my video. I decided I'm still not going to take it down. Because what Spicoli said both on that video and then like what he said on that stream. And then what he said after the next stream. I decided I'm not going to take down that video. Because I feel like I would be sweeping it. That's who I am. But as I was saying about these people. I mean, truthfully, I don't believe any of the yo, what's up, man? What's up, Ozzy Cub? How you doing? How you been? We're just covering some locale stuff for a little bit. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be up. Probably not for long. I just wanted to go and get my mind out about this stuff because I think in the end, it's only losers. A advocate for. Oof! No fighting, guys. No fighting. That is money. What I'm trying... Again, but back to what I was saying. I feel like people are trying to make this into a good versus bad. The Empire versus the Rebel. The same stuff you see people on the internet do. We're the good guys. You're the bad guys. You're attacking the small dog. You guys don't understand. And using this whole emotional manipulation on both sides are pretty bad. I'm here on the outside laughing at it because to me it's just nothing but content and nothing and stuff to be milked for what it's worth. Do I personally believe that Keemstar laughed at Becky's uncle that she's not even close to, that has been, and even Rock, I think Roxy and other people said, not fighting Mr. Spud, it's discussing CBO fan. The people fanboy for known pedal. Yeah, I see what you mean. You know, at least you're not the Dorbs who defended Spicoli. Or not defended, but it kind of gave an off take about that. And that right there. The Spicoli stuff still freaks me out. We'll get into that, but we may talk about that. We may talk about that, right? Because you gotta be careful what you say. Yeah, everything I'm saying is just an opinion. It's an allegation. It's just rumors. But no, but what I'm getting at is like, that's true though. Oh yeah, if you saw the Spicoli, dude, I'm surprised you haven't made anything about the Spicoli. But I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be very nice right now. Because we're not focusing on that. But as I said before, people try to make this into a good versus bad. And in reality, it's not a question of they're good. It's not a question of they're bad because how skewed that is nowadays. It's just like, they're all just a bunch of content creators who are just throwing shit at each other. And the only thing you should do is just profit off of their stupidity, like what I'm doing. Make content out of these people. Right? I try not my best to take it serious, but it's like funny when other people take it serious, and it kind of spurts me out and be like, let's not try to take this too serious for what it's worth. It's just a bunch of idiots who are on the internet making content that is not always the best, and a bunch of idiots are throwing money. And let's be real. Let's be 100% real, because I'm honest to myself. You know, first thing I do in the morning, I wake up and I'm honest. You know, I'm not a really good entertainer. I think I'm a decently good talker, you know. But in the end, you know, it's a no one had their life more ruined from LCU than Roxy. She's an idiot. That's something I forgot to mention. Roxy ruined her own life. Roxy liked to pit it on the LCU or Psycho Mom, which is sort of justified on Psycho Mob. But like, do you remember how fast people were flip flopping about that? It truly is like if there's any best description on the internet, it's like the Roman Senate, right? Or our modern day politics, right? Where it's all about it's like the faith game. And when I mean the faith game, it's about like you're you're in the outside, you're faking it, in the inside, you're your real self. And I mean, how many times have we seen like Becky show her real self and how disgusting she was? Yeah, the amount of people defending her because it's convenient, or Roxy, right? I mean, let's be fair. Let's be very fair. She did destroy and ruin her own life, and I think she's gonna keep going down this path. I think she's gonna become a big time locale, and that's how people are gonna remember her as a locale. They're, you know, somebody on my video made a comment. I'm gonna pop it up. I'm gonna just have it on hand right now. I'm gonna look it up. It's from my video from last night. If you haven't watched it, go check out my video. Like, subscribe, and share. We're almost at 500 subs, guys. Okay. Back to reality. Back to reality. Let me look up the comment. Mr. Raider 7865, big time, you know, supporter of the channels. Good guy. Me and him, I think me and him come up from a certain area, but he wrote, pretty keen on watching Kim boil before felting her lies. Fair point. That sick husband has some interesting timing. I mean, it is sort of true that there is some interesting timing about her sick husband. She destroyed her own life. She definitely has potential though. Greed, money, loser. Kim knows the recipe. I mean, Kim does. I mean, like, I think the one thing you could give Kim is he knows how to make content. He knows how to be an entertainer. And I think that's something important is that you don't have to like somebody to enjoy their content. You don't have to like somebody to give them their props. You don't. You really don't. At the same time, that person also needs to be willing to be truthful to himself and others. And I think sometimes, occasionally, Kim does. Was Roxy a content creator before joining up with Kim? No, she wasn't. She was just a fan. Like, when people were criticizing Roxy or her being a super fan, it is true. Roxy is a super fan that was given a show. I believe me and Crew, and I think you too also, Cobb, one of my stream, we were talking about how Keemstar has a tendency to give a lot of these people an opportunity. Whether or not they succeed is a different question. But he does let some of these people, some of his fans or fans of the LCU come up and have an opportunity. Roxy is an example of that. Roxy's whole thing was he was a fan of Milker and she got into the show and it went from there, right? But where is he at now? Yeah, she has a subscriber base of more than 1,000. She got a 500 viewers in her last stream. But is it gonna last long? That's the real question, right? Is he gonna make the same amount of money that she made in the LCU? Is he gonna have the same amount of people that are gonna support her? Those are the real questions you ask yourself. And if she doesn't care and she's perfectly fine streaming to 10, 20 people, 30 people a day per stream, then I'll give her the respect. Because that's being honest. I'm perfectly fine streaming to 5 people, 1 person, 3 people. Sometimes I'm happy I get 1 viewer on my video, get 1 like, you know? And I can respect an individual. But is he really being truthful about it? I think her and Becky have been wanting to leave the LCU for any amount of reason. I mean, I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. Even at the first month of Becky joining the LCU, she was ready to leave. Like, she was straight up ready to leave the LCU after a month joining them. After 2 months, she wanted to leave. There's been a number of times where she straight up wanted to do her own stream because she was getting a following. Kind of ask you, it kind of, makes you think, was her whole game was to join the LCU? Because here's the thing, right? Before she joined the LCU, she was an irrelevant nobody who was basically a prostitute, right? She only reason, and remember this, she was doing the whole trad life LARP, right? She was trying to LARP as a trad woman. But when people ask her that, you know what ended up happening? She straight up admitted, like, I just want to be a wife. I don't want to do the work. I don't want to clean. I don't want to do anything. I just want to get dick down, have a kid, and get money. She straight up said that what gets her sexually aroused is money. And she's honest. And you know what? I'll give her respect for that. She's honest of being a whore, a prostitute. It's better than most women out there nowadays. Said no one. These people have fans outside the LCU. They probably won't last, and fans are leaving left and right. I mean, like, are you saying, are you saying that Roxy and Becky fans are leaving them right off the bat before they even started? I mean, if Becky really wanted to capture the moment, she should have been streaming she should have started streaming Saturday, Sunday. I'll be surprised if she doesn't stream today or tomorrow. She's losing momentum. She is losing momentum as we speak. Right? Roxy was smart enough to stream Saturday. Good on her. But the amount of people that were... But here's the real question. How many of those people are siding with Becky and Roxy because they want an opportunity to be online famous? How many of them are doing that too? It's like the parasite to the parasite. And I'm here like... Just be real, right? I'm just here like, how many of these people are only siding with these people because it's an easy jumping off point for their own career? Dick Gemini, he made a whole stream, I think, like yesterday about, hold on, let me see if I can pull up that shit, because that shit was, and I've given him props, all right? I give Dick Gemini props because I'm that kind of person, right? I'm not driven by pure malice or disgust, which is sort of, I am driven by some form of it. I ain't gonna lie, but I also like to look at things at a fair glance, which may or may not, some people may not like that. Maybe some people do like that, and I'll give Dick Gemini his props. I think he's a good grifter. I think he saw that he couldn't get an opportunity on the LCU, so he went to the next best thing, and that was, and the next best thing was Becky, and I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that game. This video was LCU is burning. What is next for me? And then Tina is like, facts. Like, get to know where Tina... but Tina's a flip-flopper. She says 1 minute she's loyal to Mike and to the LCU. The next minute she's not. It's like, okay. A new network is on the horizon. Is it gonna last long? I really doubt it. And I think the reason why the LCU network has lasted so long, the brute force alone as well. I think, here I see it is, oh look, Pharaoh history. I like some Pharaoh history. We gotta watch some one of these days. I see it is, because Becky said that they said that those people want to make their own network, but is it gonna last? Becky, do you think Becky is really gonna work every single day to stream, to get all these, like, is he gonna do that? From what we were told, and I think there's a lot of truth being told, even Roxy said, like, yeah, she's just straight up lazy. She doesn't want to do work half the time. Are they gonna last that long? Are people just gonna jump ship faster than they did with the LCU and then turn back? How many people left the LCU only to come back as always? Way too many to be counted. And it's just the truth. You know? You know?
End of the life. Keem wasn't happy with me. And I just want to say I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I let everybody down. But I don't want to have to go through this whole spiel of finding another host. You know, my husband took care of us for 30 years. I never paid a bill in my life. And now that he needs me, it's like I have to be there. I have to support us. And I can't do this every other month, having a check, not having a check, worrying if I'm going to be able to have shows or content. And
I don't think I think people picked that up. She said that. So mind you, she worked at the nurse. She worked as a nurse. That's confirmed, or something related to a nurse. But then she says that her husband, right, worked for 30 years, and she never paid a bill in her life, only to recently. Mind you, she knew her husband been sick for a long time. So why the fuck did you decide to go on the internet? Like, I don't understand that. Like, okay. Now, why the fuck did you decide to leave the LCU? I think she will come back. It says she was caregiver CNA. That's a good job. I respect I respect most caregivers. I will say that, you know, I had families who were caregivers. She tried lying. She was a nurse. Yeah. I knew it was CNA because I know she kept saying that she was a caregiver. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Hey, if you're right, you're right. I ain't gonna lie. But my point is, right? If you knew your husband was sick, honestly, these people deserve all coming at them, greedy losers. 100%. I mean, look at this. With Roxy, you were a CNA caregiver. Was it a good job? Respectable. I respect caregivers, 100%. And you knew at the same time that your husband was sick, because she's admitted that her husband has been sick a number of times. Right? There was a period where she was gone, quote unquote quit, but then came back. Her boss was Mike. That's all the reason I need to not like her. Yeah. When everybody was defending Mike, and I was like coming now and calling him out for being a PDF file. Crew, I think you remember. Crew, do you remember when I freaked out on Dick Gemini for defending him? Shows you where these people are. You don't gotta be a moral person. Just gotta be honest. And he was, and I respect that. You know, Becky did the same thing. That's why I don't respect her. Like, you know, what about Roxy? We should probably ask Roxy her opinion about how do you feel about Mike dating a minor? How does that make you feel as a mother? You know, ask these kind of questions. You know, things that keep me up at night. How can people live with themselves like that? Right? But yeah, as I was saying, like, mind you, her husband was sick. She knew he was sick. And you probably should have kept your job as a caretaker. But you decided to do YouTube and make money. Something's not adding up here. She's using the "with is me" victim. Can I wasn't an adult, didn't make right decision. Wow. Feels like I'm missing out on the lore here. Bradley Henderson. If you're not aware of there's so much lore to cover. One day I really gotta do a deep dive on Roxy. Like, try to do a fair take on Roxy. If you're not aware, Roxy was a host on the LCU. We're not sure if she's gonna come back. Sorry. We're not sure if she's gonna come back to the LCU or not. I think that she probably won't. Same thing for Becky, but she wants So if you're not aware, she's a CNA nurse, or none. She was a CNA caregiver, but she kept saying she was a nurse for the longest time, and then it was proven that wasn't the case. And in that period of time, she got doxxed, but she also took a week off from her job, which is fine. No, she took almost 2 weeks off of her job to join Fat Camp. And in that period of time, there's a lot of weird stuff that was being said. Remember Roxy with the pill pharmacy at the boot camp? Yeah, I'm working on one from start to now. Oh my god, God bless you. I gotta watch that. I gotta promote that one. Dude, that's a lot of stuff to cover. But like, yeah, she probably was giving. Well, no, I'm gonna, in my opinion, I don't think she probably did give some pills. This is not cool. You can lose your job. I kind of wonder if somebody brought that up to her job and that got back. I'm from the UK, so what the LCU? It is like a hospital? No. The LCU, Local Live, or Local Universe, it's a network run by Keemstar. And he has a bunch of people in different shows as his hosts that he managed and run. One of these shows he run, two of the shows are run mostly by a guy named Kid Behind the Camera, and he runs Local Queens and Local Milkers. The absolutely gay pill was confirmed. Also, hence he got fired. Yeah, that is true. That is a hung. Oh, for fuck's sake! It doesn't get any better, Brantley. It seriously doesn't get any better. I mean, it makes sense for her to get fired. Forever remember that she's an idiot. She is an idiot. She is retarded. That's confirmed. I don't think anybody can deny that she is retarded. And she makes terrible decisions, one after the other. I mean, if it was such a problem for you to leave, if Sabbath's leaving was such a problem, and you couldn't bear the work anymore, you could have just left, and it would have been perfectly fine. I know them both. Kid Behind the Camera has fallen. I mean, he's always been falling, but it's like he kind of had a second win now. King was lost ages ago. Yeah, King got lost in the sauce. He got too riled up with the YouTube elites. He got riled up with the YouTube elites. The cabal of YouTubers. That are run by the Green Brothers. The people who own Kid Behind the Camera, the PDF. He groomed a child until she was the age of marriage. That is 100% true. How many people defended him? How many people defended him and never called him out? Right? Tells you where these people are at. One of my what pills, ibuprofen. I wouldn't be surprised if she had things like Xanax and stuff like that. I mean, like, it's probably not even hard. Because I believe Roxy says she has ADHD or something. They all have ADHD. I have ADHD. I have ADHD. I have HIV. I have HIV plus LGBT. All these people have some type of mental disorder. All of these people are locals. Holy Xannies. It's always Xanny. It's never not Xanny. It's always some type of opioids. Now, what happened to the days where it wasn't opioid? What happened to the days where, you gave people cigarettes, or alcohol? We should go back to those days. But a lot of people are falling for this shit. I mean, like, I was watching Ruby's stream yesterday, and a part of me felt that I think she's taking the moral route where you shouldn't need to. Caratom. You know how many people were recommending me that one time? Like, I'm good. I'm good on that stuff. I want to be a norm. I just want to be a normie. I just want to be a regular person who smokes cigarettes, drink alcohol on the weekend. What happened to those days? That's the part why I started making videos to see all of them. Sweet for Mike was the most disgusting stream I ever seen. I did a whole stream about I think I did 2 streams about no, I think I did 2 streams and a couple of video on the kid behind the camera stuff. And it was just kind of disturbing how fast people were defending him. I mean, it was mostly from Becky. It's why I don't respect Becky. I don't respect her fandom. Right? I mean, she's trying to double it down. Like Becky was trying to double it down later on. But like, dude, literally grew. Yeah, oh yeah. Like, come on. That's the reason why I don't respect Becky. Becky was literally in the forefront of trying to bring back Mike and defend him. It's why I don't understand those fucking Sims, those fucking morons. It's true what they say. Becky is just using her Sims as a tool, and people are buying it up. People are buying the emotional stuff off of her. She knows how to play it well. You know what? I'll give Becky that much. She is playing the emotional game fucking great. Because if these knuckle dragon idiots, bro, UK culture is on a mad chain. Most people are doing balloon CO2 gas, and a bunch of people are on kite. Becky the hoarder, they sure quit exposing her being a hoarder because she threw a fit with a berry. Yep, a bunch of dents. Not even that. The CO2 gas, holy shit, really? That's actually pretty disturbing. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on in Bongland? That's quite disturbing, I'm not gonna lie. Ketamine. Huh. It's always ketamine. It's never not ketamine, but it's always ketamine. Whip it. Guys, we're gonna do some whip it. No. In Minecraft. UK whip it. But I mean, like, that's what I mean. These people are knuckle draggers. Like, you are simping for a woman, and I get it. In her personal stream, she said that if she redid everything, she was less inclined to defend him. But you didn't answer the question. What are you defending? The fact that he dated a minor? Or are you just saying that you wouldn't just go out of your way and stick your neck out to defend him? You don't care about that he, like, that's what I want to know. What is it? Nobody is asking those questions on her end, and these knuckle draggers are these fucking idiots who are gonna take it up the ass from her because they don't know better. Also, I feel bad. My town is full of empty CO2 cans. I feel bad for you, man. I wouldn't want to live in a town like that. I feel bad. That's, ooh, she definitely, yeah, and it's just shocking. Sorry, I heard something. It's a little shocking, right? You know, who knows what else will defend? I mean, she mocked the veterans number of times. Then she tried to use her dead friend who was a veteran, but she didn't even know him. Like how she's using her uncle at the deflection, and she's manipulating everybody because they're idiots. But she also created a social She created a social. Oh my god, I forgot the word you said. Social parasocial relationship. Wow. I have dyslexia. I have dyslexia. But Becky, I have dyslexia. I'm a moron. But Becky's a hoarder, straight mental illness hoarder shit. She is a hoarder. She is a hoarder. But here's the thing, crew. She's always like that. She straight up said that if she was a trad housewife, she wouldn't clean, she wouldn't really cook. Her only thing she's attracted to is the amount of money that you have as a person. She is a gold digger. You know how like some people like to say like, I'm only attracted to smart people. It's like, shut the hell up. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit that I'm only attracted to smart people. What do they even mean? Like, if somebody actually had a genuine, intelligent conversation, I don't think you can actually keep up. Like, stop with this stupid ass LARPing. If you're a gold digger, you're a gold digger. If you like somebody who's smart or just able to keep up in a conversation, just say that. I don't care. It's like, I want to date a guy who's intelligent because I only date for shut the hell up. If you actually met an intelligent person that wasn't good looking, you wouldn't date them. Just straight up, you wouldn't date them. Right? And I mean, most people are midwit. I mean, like, it sort of is true that most, and I'm not trying to be an incel. I'm not. But most women are midwit for a reason. And I am very shocked that people do not know that, right? What? I think on average, there is more women with the same, if I think it's something like the statistic is that on average, there is more mid-level smart women. What I mean by that is that there's more women with similar IQs, but compared to men, there are more smarter men. But on the opposite end, there's more common IQ among women, meaning that most women are midwits, right? The numbers of intelligent men, I believe, are higher than there is of intelligent women. It's midwittery. It's midwit takes. Like, come on, it's not hard to figure this out. Freaking MGTOW's red pill people have been saying that for more than 16 years now. They've been saying that for decades, and it's like, and that's how I feel about people who support Becky. They're just midwits or just sub IQ people. The money that these losers are making will be the most they ever make soon. The world stays about to change, and the Dex digit experience about to change. The world is bullshit content won't be profitable during wartime. Yeah, that's why I'm in. I mean, like, you know, I've thought about shifting my live stream to focus on world events. A little bit, not completely. Like, if I were to get into it now, I think the world is heading towards a multipolar world. Like, I think the United States will still be on top, but it's gonna be competing with, like, Russia and China, Germany, and maybe, like, United Kingdom with its colonies, right? We're gonna see a multipolar world where the world is split. Like, okay, let me pop up. Let me pop up like a world map. What I mean by a multipolar world. By the way, this is my new channel. Got you. I'll subscribe to it when I get a chance. There we go. I'm using Google. Like, that's where we're heading. We're heading towards a multipolar world in the next coming years. And I don't think most Americans want to accept that. You have a bunch of liberal people, both on the conservative and, bunch of conservative and liberals who think that we're going to be in a united world, like something out of like Star Trek or something out of some stupid ass, like, you know, copium. We're not. We're heading toward a world where the world is broken up with different regional powers, right? Is the United States still going to be on top? To some extent, yes, but not in the same way that people felt comfortable, right? It's going to be a world that's going to be split in different factions, right? You have the United States on one end, you have Russia on the other hand, right? Let me see if I can pull this image. I hope you guys can see. Oh my god, I fucking hate everything. All right, well, let's get into some political stuff. I'm not trying to. Again, and I know some people don't come here for my political takes. They come here for my low count dumb shit. But look at this, all right? We're gonna look at this, right? I think the world is going to be split up. Like North America, it's going to be dominated by the United States. Parts of the world will be directly influenced by the United States, right? You know, India's kind of screwed because it's between China, Iran, and Pakistan. So it's going to have regional power within the Indian subcontinent, which has always been a thing, right? India has never been a nation that has ever focused on expansion outside of the Indian subcontinent. The only time that there was a point where India had like actual global reach that isn't like modern day India, and let's be fair, modern day India is on the verge of imploding. My views went down when I started talking about politics. Oh no, never mind. YouTube's just dumb. Right? Right. Like India has not ever, right? So people like to think India one day it's going to be this. It really isn't. It may have some power in the Indian subcontinent, maybe where traditionally where there's a lot of Indian influence, but not that far. China, on the other hand, it's going to have to compete with Japan and Korea. If there's some talk between Korea and Japan and some of the other Asian powers in making an alliance, a Pacific alliance against China. And a lot of people have been saying that the United States may not focus in the Atlantics anymore, but focus in the Pacific because that's more of a bigger concern. But I do agree, right? It also depends on where Indonesia stands, but I think Indonesia and Malaysia may just join its Pacific alliance of Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Taiwan, and the Philippines, creating a bloc against China. And China has never had a strong naval tradition, which is very important. The reason why the United Kingdom and even France and Spain were able to expand their empire, even the United States, to some extent even Russia, was because they had a strong naval presence across the world. China never had that. Japan has. Japan has always had a strong naval and land presence. I mean, at one point, the fact that Japan steamrolled Korea, right, and I don't think they would have really gotten into China. They made maybe at the most they made a sack Beijing in the capital, but they would have probably not gone further, and they would have probably stuck in Korea, expanded into Taiwan, into the Philippines, and created weird Japanese Pacific Empire, which is probably what would have happened, right? It was only really until like the interwar period where Japan actually had a foothold in China, but they relied on a proxy of Manchuria and Korea to even do that. With, if you read if you ever read the book Prince, you shouldn't always rely on mercenaries or auxiliary forces because they are likely to betray you, especially if those auxiliary forces are from places that may not come from your area. Take that as it is, right? Right. That's what we may see in the future is the Pacific Alliance against China, and in some extent even against India, right? But it doesn't really matter because both India and China population has already crashed, right? China population is dropping faster than India. There's not enough young people. The only thing that the Indians have is their Hinduism. But the problem is that that's really more focused within the lower and upper caste, which is the only thing that's keeping India where it's at now. And due to other regions, particularly dealing with Pakistan, India may feel the pressure from its Muslim population eventually. And if Pakistan and China and the rest of the Muslim world were to unite, with depending on how you want to view that, or if anything, if Pakistan and Iran are able to get the rest of the Muslim world, they could, in theory, they can actually be a real threat to India. The question is that they do need to develop weapons that can, cancel out nuclear bombs before they can land. That's a real challenge, right? Because once any of these nations develop anti-nuclear, anti-ICBM weapons, that said, the world will revert back to pre-Cold War military conflict, where you're seeing the great power duke it out. Nukes will be irrelevant. Here's the truth, and nobody wants to talk about it. The day nukes become irrelevant in warfare, that's it. The world will revert back to pre World War II. I mean, to some extent, the war between Ukraine and Russia is basically just World War I tactics with modern vehicles. That's all what it is. war. That's what the Russian-Ukrainian war is. It's basically World War One tactics with modern day weapons. Drones are not as effective there as we're being seen, especially if the other powers can counter drones, right? Imagine you're in the battlefield and you just hear a bunch of drones duking it out. Guess what? All your drones are useless now because they've been either wiped out or been taken down. So guess what? You gotta go back out there with tanks and planes, you know? And I remember hearing that, like, what? And I'm not a military expert, right? I'm not a military guy. I don't know every military weapon. I'm not sure what's the best modern plane, right? I do know that the F-22s and those series of planes are not actually as effective when it's combating other nations' tactic. I mean, like, I was reading. I'm still getting it done, but I do want to do a book review on Tom Clancy's End War, where it's sort of like a what if between a war between the United States, Russia, and the European Union. But and it's interesting because they are basically fighting what we're seeing. They're basically like that war in the book. It's basically what we're seeing in Ukraine. It's just small groups of soldiers duking it out, and then eventually it's gonna devolve into trench warfare. It always does. And in the EU, right, the EU is gonna break up eventually. I was talking to a buddy of mine. We were saying that the EU is gonna be split up between Germany in the east and France and the rest of the EU in the west. The United Kingdom is probably going to establish some type of union between Canada, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand and be closer tied to the United States, right? Like an Anglo alliance. South America and Central America would basically be ruled by the United States. Brazil is too unstable. Brazil is too unstable to even function as a country. Argentina has a better chance in being a world power, or at least a regional power, than Brazil does. Brazil has too many issues in hand. I mean, hell, there's people who say that the United States will eventually devolve into Brazilification, and that is sort of true. We are seeing that nowadays, where the United States is devolving into it, right? Africa is just whatever. Africa is going to be split between, like, if Gaddafi was still around, then he'll probably be Libya would be a regional power in Africa if Gaddafi was still around. Ethiopia is probably the only other one, and Egypt, that are going to be major regional powers. Besides that, Africa is going to either be dominated by the Americans or the Europeans or the Chinese. I don't know what to tell, or the Indians. Just the truth. Russia will still be a regional world power. Turkey will be a regional world power. We are entering the multipolar world. And depending on who you are, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. But I think that is what we're going to see in our lifetime. And if you're somebody who's America first, you may want that. But that's depending on which side of America first. Are you an American first empire builder? Or are you a American first domestic person? That's all up to you. Mexico is just going to collapse. I don't care what anybody says. The current president of Mexico is a scumbag. She is a disgusting woman who is spitting in the face of God as we speak. She's letting the cartel run amok in Mexico, and she knows it. That's how she got into power. She knows what she's doing, and now she's inciting stuff and what's going on in LA. She knows what she's doing, and Mexico is gonna have a regime change in the next couple of years. If anything, she may be ousted. There's been a few times where she came close to being ousted. And every day it's going to end up happening. We are going to see a military takeover from the Mexican government that we haven't seen in 100 years. In the next couple of years, the Mexican military is going to step in and take over, but then it's either going to spill into a civil war with the cartels, who, let's not forget, the cartel have enough military force and military power to rival the Mexican military. And people don't talk about that. And it doesn't help that, the United States kind of did fund some of that. Sorry if I went on a bit of a rant on political. I'm not a political person too much on YouTube. But this channel, it's not heavily focused on politics, right? I don't try to focus too much. It's not that I don't try to focus on politics. It's just not what people come here for. And I do know that eventually I'm gonna have to move this channel towards this direction of that when the time comes. And I'm trying to build up to it. It's why I'm trying to build up to 500 subscribers. It's why I'm trying to get a bit of monetization or something to help go toward that direction. I'm still gonna cover Local Live and the whole universe. I'm gonna cover the dwarves. I'm gonna cover all this shit. I've been trying to cover Nova Online, but I do know that I have to eventually talk about stuff like this. Like, I could get into like American politics in my opinion, but like I'm a person who believes in very different things that people here may not agree with. But I think that was mostly due to where I'm from. But yeah, I don't know if you guys like this little rant. I'll be right back. I use the bathroom. I'm back. Yeah, the titty woman. Yeah, Nova Online. Yeah, it was actually a guy. It's like sort of the Dick Gemini situation where, people think that Dick Gemini is actually a woman, but he's actually a guy, and I feel bad when people do kind of misgender him. Nova Online apparently he started to drink recently. I buy with the political talk. If I started my channel, I know it wouldn't be as where that today. However, I do want to cover recent events. I've been thinking about covering more recent events. I got to eventually, not because of viewership. I mean, also because it's easy viewership, but also like people like to hear takes like that, and it is a good way to. It is a good way to develop more people. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like some people that I watch who talk about it, I don't know. Here's the thing for me personally when it's coming to that kind of topic is I've been on both sides. I've spoken to people on both sides of the spectrum of politics, both left and right wing, and because of that, I have much more. How can I say it? In my honest opinion, I have more, not a fair take, more along the lines of I can see why both sides are the way it is, and I have my own opinion. Right? I'm very much openly like, I've been very clearly open right wing, but I'm willing to see why somebody would take that. Unless I feel like they're wrong, then I'm gonna say they're wrong, right? Like the whole thing in LA. Right, needed to be done for the longest time. The thing with LA needed to be done, and too many people are defending these. Like the thing about the LA stuff, what annoys me is that you have these people who, how can I say it? You have these people who LARP as American, and they know what they're doing is clearly wrong, yet they want to bitch and complain. You know that you're harboring illegals. We all know that some of these people are. We know that LA is using these people as a political tool. Yet the same people are no different. But not, at least not all of them, but some of them are, right? Right? I don't know, let's want some Ruby stuff. Let's want some of the Roopster. I hate her.
What's going on, kid? So, but I would obviously prefer if you don't try to get my channel deleted because you're gonna have incentive to want to.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Because I'm a child who can't control my behavior. Hashtag relatable, but not to that degree. Unlike Ben, I have not physically lashed out at.
I still need to cover some of the gray stuff and Ben stuff because there were some interesting stuff I saw yesterday that caught my interest.
Like that. No, that's his thing. What's this guy's thing? What the fuck is a plan, my brother? Because it sounds like you have a plan, if anything. But this is common with people who have narcissistic personality disorder, as I believe that Keemstar and Benthorpe both have. They have delusions of being persecuted, and they misread social signals. So I'm one of the most vocal critics of that universe right now. So of course, you know, they're going to have incentive to want to devalue me as much as possible, which is why, you know.
Oh shit! Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. We got some updating stuff. We got some updating stuff about Roxy. Right. We gotta hurry up. We gotta hurry up. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. We gotta bulldoze it. We gotta go through it. With some updating stuff about Roxy. We have some updating stuff about Roxy. Oh, wait. Is it here? No, who the hell is Alan Baker? I don't give a shit about you. 30 million subscribers? I don't give a fuck. Some updating stuff. Wait, no, that's not what I want. Nope. No? Okay, that works. If you guys can see it. Alright. Oh. Screenshot this real fast. Hold up. Give me a second, guys. I need to screenshot this because the shit and giggles will never end. The shit and giggles will never end. Oh my god. I recently had a private and must-need meeting with both Mike and Keem. We took the time to sit down and talk openly about everything that had built up. Things we were all upset about. Things left unsaid and misunderstood that spiral out of control. During the conversation, I kind of want to know what happened. During the conversation, I took accountability for something important. I apologized for taking only one side of a story, and doing so, I repeated it if it were. You did because you're an idiot. But the fact that you are willing to believe Becky, who is a notorious liar, who lied about Essay, who mocked the veteran multiple times, and other stuff, she made jokes about your husband, probably isn't apologetic about it. You took her side like an idiot. Repeated if it were for. I should have done what I always preach. Listen to both sides, and I didn't. That's on me. Wow. It's like maybe you should have called. Also explain the full situation around Milker, especially when it comes to money and how things are structured. And I want to be very clear, any claims that Keem has stolen from us or been shady with pay are completely false. In fact, there has been times where he's given more than he needed to. He's been honest, fair, and upfront, and that deserves to be acknowledged. I'll let you guys decide that one. I'm not much of a material. I also want to be 100% transparent about everything. I did not leave to team up with Becky. She didn't ask me to leave, and there was no plan, no scheme, no other drama behind my decision. It was just me. Overwhelming, needed to protect my peace. Well, you sure made it look like you did. Then why did Dick Gemini say that you, Becky, and her are gonna do your own stuff? Maybe you realize the numbers were not gonna be there and you're not as popular as you thought you were. I don't know. Suspicious? Was it a ploy to out Becky and she took it like an idiot? Maybe so. That said, let me highlight this for my fellow man. If she deleted, good thing I have it screenshotted and it's on stream. That said, if and when the time is right, I would return to Milker. I would like to return to Milkers. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. I would like to return to Milkers. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you all been played. We got him. But if that day comes, I need to be clear. I'm not settling. I wanted to be Choi who I host with. And that's how the show is run. I'm only coming back if it's on my turn because I know I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm bringing to the table. Hey Ruby, I think you may want to respond to this one. It's like, I knew that this wasn't gonna last. I knew to not take certain things for what they were. It's like, there was a part of my brain that kind of realized, hey, don't be a moral, don't be Mr. Moral. Don't be Mrs. Moral. Because these people are doing it for entertainment purpose. At the end of the day, I want this to work, but not at the cost of my happiness, peace, or my 4 packs of Newport. Why would you smoke Newport? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't anybody comment? I knew this would get to you. Fair enough, though. They would. The troops, just a fucking moron. Fair enough, though. Will they in return put on a statement of what they have done wrong? But bet they won't. Yet you stand your ground, right? I feel like. See how much these people are fucking idiot. Like, it's truth be told, yeah, GameStar is right for mocking Milkers and Queens fans. I remember the truth hit a comment on one of my videos or my stream about like if she. I didn't realize it was a guy. I mean a girl. Apparently the truth is a girl. Hey, it is what it is. I will take blame for that one. I made it very clear. I do not like the LCU. I covered the LCU quite a bit. And I think in a way I have something that I do like about it. I like the LCU because it's a bunch of locals outing themselves as locals. And I love it. I enjoy it. It is my pastime. But it really does show just how stupid these people are. How parasocial they are. Right? It's the reason why I don't want to do a panel show. And I know some of you guys would like to be on here. We can talk about random stuff. And the truth is, guys, I don't want those kind of... Like, from watching the way Milker did, watching Queens and how they have such a deep parasocial relation. Even watching Tess, right? I don't want to put that on people. I'm going to dislike it because it's hilarious. But I knew this was going to happen. Everybody knew that was going to happen. It's like, wow. It's like, again, I was kind of right about this. I was right. That these people were going to come back to Kimi. Suck on his nippy, I mean, whether or not you believe that she did or didn't team up with Becky, it is a bit coincidental. Right? It's a bit coincidental, you know. Yeah, suck on the tip. Gotta. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. I do want to know what happened in that conversation, but again, this really does prove that Milker and Queens fans are just idiots. Like, you got played hard, and I'm here to laugh at you. And I'm here to laugh at anybody who decided to take the side of this. And you know who I'm referring to. Because you don't always wait a day or two, right? That is my rule. To always wait, right? So you always wait and see how things play out. Especially with these kind of people who are known to constantly flip-flop. Hey, you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. I'm here to laugh at you. You went on about this big game against Keemstar and everything, and nope, gone. All your little fans, who bought into your bullshit, boom, smack in the face. And in a way, you really can't laugh at these people. Like, I know I'm just laughing a minute ago, but like, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do in this moment? Like, you can't help, you really can't help but not laugh at these morons. Their fandoms. Chad, am I being too cruel? Or am I okay to have this opinion? No. Am I being too cruel for saying and calling it out for what it's worth? For knowing that this was always gonna be the outcome? Watch Becky come back to the LCU. Watch her make this apology and realize, oh wait, maybe all of this was one big mistake. Right? And things go back to normal. Or she may just completely leave. Yeah, either way, I like it. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's just more content to milk. Like, I may do a video on it in a little bit because I think it is worth covering. I think it is worth, the coverage because it's funny. It's sad to say, but I think I'm going to end the stream off here. Thanks everybody for watching. It means a lot as always. Till next time. God bless. And don't be an idiot.